We're going to dive into something pretty personal today, what it's like to grow up just a little too fast, and the real, often hidden price you pay for that.
So let me just start by asking you something. Think back. Were you that kid? You know, the one all the adults called so mature for your age? The responsible one. The little old soul who just seemed to have it all figured out. If that's ringing a bell, then yeah, this is for you.
A lot of this experience really boils down to one powerful, kind of startling idea: the child becoming the family's emotional thermostat. It's a job nobody ever signs up for, but so many kids end up doing it.
Now, there's a clinical name for this, and it's parentification. Basically, it's a situation where a child has to step up and take on adult-sized roles and carry emotional weight that's just way too heavy for a kid.
But honestly, let's put the textbook term aside for a second. The best way to think about it is exactly like this. You became the emotional thermostat for your home. So what does that actually look like? Well, it means you got really, really good at sensing the mood of a room the second you walked in. It meant you were constantly managing your parents' emotions, maybe trying to cheer one up or calm another one down. It might have meant you were the little mediator stuck in the middle of adult arguments. And here's the big one. It meant you were the one giving emotional support when you were supposed to be the one getting it. And that role you played as a kid, it doesn't just disappear when you turn 18. Nope. It builds a kind of armor for you as an adult, an armor of independence. But believe me, that armor comes with a heavy long-term cost.
And here's the thing. All that praise you got for being so mature, it doesn't actually set you up for an easy adulthood. In fact, it often creates some really specific and honestly pretty deep challenges later on.
You can literally draw a straight line from the cause to the effect here. As a kid, your job was to be super mature, totally responsible for how everyone else felt. So what's the result? As an adult, you become hyper-independent, and you are absolutely terrified of being a burden to anyone.
You know, what the world sees as this incredible strength and self-reliance, it's often not a choice at all. It's a survival mechanism. It's a skill you had to get really good at because you learned way back when that if you didn't meet your own needs, nobody else was going to.
So let's flip that coin over and look at the other side of that independent armor. Because behind every act of extreme self-reliance, there's a really powerful emotion pushing it forward: the fear of being a burden.
And this isn't just, a slight worry. The source material calls it a constant, quiet terror. Think about that. It's like this low-level hum of anxiety that's always on, whispering, don't ask for help, don't take up too much space, don't be a problem.
So how does this actually show up day to day? Well, it can look like finding it almost impossible to ask for help, even when you're completely overwhelmed. It's saying, I'm sorry all the time for things that aren't your fault, or even just for having basic needs. It's that weird, intense guilt you feel when someone takes care of you. It's this core belief deep down that your needs are just an inconvenience to other people.
Just take a second here. Does any of that sound familiar? That inner voice, that constant monologue of, I've got it, I'm fine, sorry to bother you. Does that resonate? Because when you add it all up, the early responsibility, the fierce independence, that constant fear of being a burden, it creates this profound feeling that you missed out on something, a sense of loss. And there's actually a name for that feeling.
Here it is: the invisible grief of growing up too fast. It's grief because something was genuinely lost, a piece of your childhood. And it's invisible because from the outside, all anyone ever saw was a capable, mature, really good kid. Nobody could see how heavy that crown really was.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's just about understanding ourselves. So what happens when we finally stop calling it being mature and start acknowledging the true weight of that heavy crown? What might become possible for us then?